one of the big fields on their property. The way
as you can see, this is very scenic land. We've got the lakes in the background. It's rolling hills. It's we at our height of our cattle business, we were feeding about 100 head of cattle per year, selling the calves off, and all this is hayfield. I think some of the happiest days of my life were the days when I was haying. Just loved feeling that close to what was going on in the land.
you actually had a couple Clydesdales horses for a while,
when we
didn't you?
first moved, one of my dreams had always been to have a team of horses. I worked for a farmer in southern Alberta, up in the Rocky Mountain foothills, and he still farmed with horses. And I worked a couple of summers for him, and I just loved it. We used to get up at 5 in the morning, and he had about 10 teams. And he had 3 sons, and we would catch five pairs of horses, harness them up, then we'd go have breakfast, and then we'd get out. Either we'd be mowing, or we would be raking, or we would be hauling the hay in and pushing it up over a slide.
That sounds pretty slack. You stopped for breakfast?
Well, yeah, and we stopped. We ate like kings, I'll tell you. The farmer's wife used to send these lunches out that were absolutely fantastic, and we were starving. And the farmer was smart enough to know that if he fed us well, we would be able to work a lot harder, which we did. But I loved doing the work with the horses, and when I got here, I bought a team of horses, and I bought several important pieces of equipment. For example, I don't know if you can see them here. Well, not very well, but anyway, I had a rake and a mower, and I used to put the hay in stacks. It was hard work. I had what they called a farm awl. It had a big scoop on the front of it that you could scoop up hay with, and we used to bring that in and use it to stack the hay. And I don't know, it was a wonderful throwback to 100 years ago, the way people used to farm. I also discovered that it was I couldn't make enough money at it to make it pay. It seemed like I would spend weeks doing a small chunk of hay, and my neighbor would come home, and he would in an evening after work with his power equipment, he would do 5 times as much hay as I'd done all week. And in time, I succumbed to the modern industrial revolution.
Way to go, Dad.
And bought some old tractors and some old hay equipment. One of my old tractors is still sitting out there, a wonderful old case tractor. And but it was still really satisfying. I still love coming out here. And, I walk out here a lot.
Garner helped you a lot with the haying too, didn't he?
Garner helped me a lot. He helped me with a lot of the carpentry work and building fences. There were almost no fences of any value here when we moved. Actually, it's kind of gone full circle now. A lot of the fences are starting to decay. But also, the oil company wanted to drill an oil well on the property, and they wanted to do it right over in the middle of the nicest part of it. And I absolutely said, no, I won't give you permission. I said, furthermore, if you persist on doing it, I'm going to fight you every way I can. And I said, being the reeve of the county, I've got access to quite a few sources of communication. So anyway, they eventually drilled what they call a transverse drilling hole. In other words, they drill at an angle. They started over here, over in the corner. I don't know if you can see the remains of the well there, and drilled over to where they had intended to drill in the first place. They had a very good gas well, but at that time the price of gas went down so low they decided to cap the well
Oh yeah.
for now, and so it's got capped. It's not in operation.